don't know. I couldn't get it working at all on the computer. I do apologise.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So how are you doing besides the
No, no,
audio?
fine. Yeah, yeah. And it's all okay. Yeah, we've just been out on we live on a narrow boat, and
Okay.
we've just been up the river and we've just come back here. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Uh, so how are things going on your side of the pond?
Oh, yeah, it seems to be going well. The sun is shining. Well, not quite at the moment, but yeah, life is okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Um, yeah, I was looking through your biography and listening to your new album a little bit ago. I really like it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah. That was recorded, as you probably read, all on this boat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a sort of a field recording.
Okay. So, do you like the feel of being out more instead of in the studio when you do your albums?
This is the only one I've not done in the studio, and I really loved it. I like the idea of I just close myself in for maybe a week
Mhm.
and just concentrated on. And there was no sound engineers. I just recorded on two microphones, and then I gave it to my sound engineer to do do some mixing. And then
Oh,
I invited the violin player and the percussionist along, and backing vocalist, and then we put some overdubs on it.
yeah, I was listening to Farewell Sorrow, and
Oh yeah,
I like that. It's kind of like your music is like a mix. Like they said, you're hard to pin down when it comes to music, but it was like a fusion of
yeah,
blues, Americana. Yeah, it was wonderful.
yeah, and hopefully a little bit of like English folk, because I've never been to America, and but so but as I've listened to American music all my life, but hopefully I'm taking the American influences and bringing it back, and putting my take on it, as I would like to think.
Um, would you like to come to America sometime and perform?
Of course, yes, yeah, we'd all, love to, yeah. That'd be very interesting.
Yeah, wow. Uh, the album. Where did you come up with the name for the album, 6'10"?
That is the width of the boat. So
Oh, okay.
the width of the space I recorded it. A narrow boat is 6'10", and
Okay.
they're built. All narrow boats are built 6'10" because they use the canal system, which was dug and made for the Industrial Revolution in the turn of the century, and so yeah, so all the boats fit in all the locks and all the little canals that they dug out, if you know what I mean. So the standard 6'10".
Oh, okay. I never knew that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
When you were recording this album, I know you did it back in February when it was released. Um,
Uh-huh.
where does some of your inspiration come from, especially when you did this album?
I don't know. I try to pick inspiration from, like we all do when we write this sort of rootsy stuff from for my life, really, and hopefully the river brought in some influences. Yeah, so I just try to write from what's around me, really, and from my experience.
Uh,
I would say so. Yeah.
um, let me see. Yeah, like I said, I mean, this album is, you really drew from the blues and everything else, which, I found so neat and so fascinating. With what you write, I listened to some of your other stuff, yeah, and I know you said you'd like to, draw from that and everything. When you were growing up, you said you always listened to American music. Did you have any favorites you enjoyed listening to when you were younger?
Well,
Growing.
it started. Yeah, I started. getting into music when I was about 14. And in England, we had the punk music happening in the late 70s. Um, and so I grew up through that, and the blue beat, the ska revival. And then I went to see a blues band in the early 80s, Nine Below Zero, a British blues band. And there
Oh,
was a harmonica player, and they were, you know, they sort of blew my mind. So the next day I went out and brought myself a harmonica and went into the local record shop and bought a Sonny Boy Williamson album, Portrait in Blue, which I've still got, and a country blues album, harmonica album. And then I set about, that was the start of my journey. That was 40 years ago. So that sort of set me out listening. I was drawn to the one man sort of rural blues of, the Mississippi and stuff originally. But then as you grow, and start listening to, start listening your discovery, your journey, like even further back, going into Africa and Mali and the West African music and Alpha Katori. Yeah, so it's been a journey. Yeah,
did you have
yeah.
like any, I know you named a few albums, but was there any one in particular that was your favorite that you like really enjoyed listening to?
Um, I really think the last album. I feel like it's becoming where I wanted to be. In my head. Where I wanted. I wouldn't say end up because I've still got things to. I'm still writing and stuff. But I really feel like the last album was more, really what I wanted to be. And how I wanted to. It's like more acoustic, a bit more finger picky. So I think it's more true to myself. I think yeah, I would say the last album is my favorite so far.
Um, so you've been doing music for quite some time. Have you seen a lot of changes in how the music is done now and everything?
Well, obviously you've got the digital age has happened. And then when we first started recording music or playing music with my friends, we were on tape recorders, so we were on tape and rewinding stuff, and then you brought then the real Tascam 8-track recorders came out. And we were messing about with those, and now the digital things happened. It's just so much easier, which gave me the ability to sit it on my boat and record an album. You've got I did it on a computer through a little interface. And I've got more at my fingertips than the Beatles would have had in a studio in Abbey Road, if you know what I mean, from the
Mm.
'60s. So it's incredible. When you think about Alan Lomax going out and doing all the field recordings with the old blues guys, that was basically a tape recorder in a room. And
Yeah.
now, yeah, now we've got so much more. It's amazing. Yeah, I would imagine that was the biggest thing. Yeah, it's a digital age, I would imagine. And if you use it properly, I mean, I still try to do one take. Start the song and finish the song, and try not to use, well, on the last album, apart from other instruments, it was just one take and try to be as real as possible. But I
Yeah.
know you can these days. You can alter your voice. You can, which I try not to do. Roots music. I think you've got to have warts and all. Really, you got to keep it real. But you have all at your fingertips.
Yeah, it seems like I've had a few friends that have recorded, and when they do, they're like you said with technology, there's so much out there anymore that you can use to, you know,
Yeah,
do things with and mix and everything else. But um, sometimes the live versions, like no mixing or anything else, sound, extraordinary.
yeah, and it's also because it has imperfections. As humans, we're not perfect people, or perfect thing, perfect. So it's good to have the slight mistakes and the slight change of rhythm and you know imperfection. I think these days we can make perfect music, and it's hard to do a take and know that it's not perfect, but it's the take you use,
Yeah,
because of that imperfection.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes, like I said, I was listening through your album, and to me, it sounded great. So you only did like with that, did you only do one take and that was it?
Well, I may have done more than one take, but it was one complete take, if you know what I mean. So I
Okay.
might have recorded it two or three times, but I didn't catch any recordings or any vocals. It was just like do it there live, and choose the best run through. So it's one whole take.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe not the first.
Um, I know it's a little late, but congratulations on winning Acoustic Blues Act of the Year for 2023.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been nominated for 24 and 25, but sadly I didn't win it. But I'm still so happy that I won it 1 year at least, and I'm always in. I've always been the finalist for the last 2 years, so I'm always up there in the runnings, which is it's always an honor, and through that it has opened doors. Today I got a gig in Portugal for later on in the year, and I know that that has come from the back of that award. I won the award and started getting some better gigs, and the ball has kept rolling, which is fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. So have you basically, I guess, besides America, have you basically been all over Europe?
Oh yeah. Lots of places. Earlier this year we played in Italy. I'm supposed to be in Spain today, actually today, but we had a bit of a mix-up, so I've put that back till September.
Okay.
Yeah, last year we played in Poland and Portugal, and we went over to the Azores. Yeah, France. Yeah, most European countries we've done. Yeah, I'm in Norway next year. I've been booked for a festival next summer. Yeah, so that's the exciting part. I love traveling.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so, um, do you ever, like when you first started, were you ever nervous or anything like that about performing in front of people?
I still I still am. Every gig I get nervous. Yeah, even now I say to I say to my partner, or sometimes I play with a percussionist, and I say I'm nervous, but no, I always do, even a tinge of it, a little, especially the bigger gigs. But once you get into it and get into the zone, then they all disappear. Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
good.
you just
Yeah.
have to. And then you're just trying to enjoy the here and now, of
Yeah.
playing,
I know the wonderful thing about music. I play a little bit, but not too much. But the weird thing is, and maybe you feel a bit differently about it, is when I'm playing music or listening to music, especially, I just get this feel like there could be all this chaos around me, but yet, you know, you're there in the music, and all of that just seems to dissipate. It's like you're on another level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and most definitely, you get into a small like bubble, and people even who watch me say it, I'm in my own little zone, and sometimes it can be deeper than others. Sometimes, like the best gigs are when I think I almost feel like it's like surfing, that you're on a wave and it's just you're flowing through consciousness and you're not thinking of what you're playing. It's just pure. I don't know if it's energy, but it's just magical, almost musical. It's just flowing. That's the best gigs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hope and you never know. There could be a small gig in a pub, or it could be a big stage. Once you get that magic moment, there is nothing like it. I think it's a little bit addictive, really.
Um, is there any place during your travels that you've enjoyed maybe a little more than others, like one that stands out to you? Or is it just, you enjoy going, everywhere and you get some sort of an
Oh,
experience from it?
oh, there have been some amazing places. I've enjoyed going into Portugal, up into the Douro Valley where they're making all of the sherries and what have you. That was a beautiful. And we went to, I say, a little, the Azore Islands, and it's just incredible. As I say, early this year we toured around Italy, and I just did it in my van. I drove from my home. We drove through Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, through the Alps into Italy, and some of the places everywhere we played, they gave us accommodation and food, so we were eating, with local people and meeting, proper Italians, and some of the scenery was just, mind blowing. And you think, well, you write a few tunes and you do a bit of music, and then you're given all of this. It's just it. I don't take it for granted. It's this amazing thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do
Oh,
have to pinch yourself sometimes.
oh, yeah, yeah, I bet so. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. I've got to let the cat out.
Oh yeah.
The cat scratches the door down.
Yeah.
Um,
No, we took our cat on the boat with us. He likes it.
oh, do you just
Yeah.
have one cat then, or?
Yeah. No, we got one as a ginger cat. He was just passing this a minute ago. He's a ginger cat called Loki, and
Oh,
we had him as a kitten on the boat, and he's fallen in. Well, we've counted 12 times, and but he swims and gets back out again. He's
oh,
fallen
yeah.
in the evening, and we've been in bed, and he'll fall in and get soaking wet cat gets into bed, which is funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. This cat I have is something else. They're little explorers, and
Oh
they're
yeah. What
yeah.
have you? How many do you have?
I have two. Um,
Okay.
I've got a gray and white, and her name is Sophia. And then I've got Bobby. He's a bobtail cat. Um,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, she's just the sweetest little thing, but she likes to explore.
Oh yeah.
But
Ask you, do they bring you animals in?
luckily, no. But
We get lots. Yeah.
oh, do you? Oh,
We
so
had moles and mice, and yeah. Sometimes they're not dead. Last week we had a mole, and like we heard something scratching, and this mole came out, and trying to catch it in a box to put it back outside again.
oh no. Yeah, I had a dog a while back named Stormy, and I took
Oh yeah.
Stormy out for a walk one evening, and unfortunately there was a dead squirrel
Oh. Oh.
at the side of the road. And what does she do? She picks it up, and she was so proud.
Oh.
She wagged her tail and everything and took it to mom. She thought it was the greatest. My mom wasn't too impressed.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, animals are
Um,
like that. They'll bring you little surprises when you least expect
yeah. Or we wake up in the morning and there's just little bits left, like
it.
a spleen or a head or a tail. Yeah.
Ah, wow. Yeah. So how long have
Yeah.
you lived?
Loki.
Oh,
Uh,
how long have you lived on your boat?
yeah. Are you still there?
Yep, still here.
We've been on it for nearly 9 years. Yeah,
Okay. So do you like it a whole
yeah.
lot better than living in a house or?
Well, it's certainly a bit cheaper. Like I don't know about America, but England's getting, the prices are just rising everywhere. House prices, and gas, electricity, food. So we live a little bit under the grid, if you know what I mean. So or off the grid, you know. So in that, yeah, I like that part of it. I like being transient as well. We don't move all of the time. We have our own little mooring, but we always have the option to move. You know, you can always feel if you don't like where you are today, you can move, and that's always quite a nice thing to have in your back of your mind, really.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know here in America, like you were saying, there in England, yeah, prices, food, gas, electricity, yeah, same thing. It all seems to, be going up, but your wages never increase. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's pretty bad. I know I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about, the prices of everything. And like if I were to buy a thing of eggs, um, they would be like $7, $8. And I'm thinking that is ridiculous. But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the price of everything really seems to be going up. I'm hoping, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe eventually things will get a little better. But yeah, you
Yeah.
just never know. The economy is kind of rocky and everything here. So
Yeah, no, it's definitely in England. A lot of venues, you know, it's getting hard to get, certainly harder to get gigs and to get people to come to gigs for tickets. You know,
yeah,
and lots of venues are closing because of the overheads and what have you. So that's all a bit frightening. I know other things will open up, but you know, other opportunities. But it is worrying. I'm finding it harder and harder, really. But you know, yeah. It's all
yeah,
we press on. Yeah,
yeah. And that has to be,
yeah,
kind of worrying, especially, when your bread and butter is, performing music or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
performing some sort of art or whatever. Yeah. I mean, you
yeah,
need that paycheck to keep going.
yeah. And like, I don't know, in America also you know the arts grants from the governments to all these different venues and community projects are all being axed, you know, and stopped. So yeah, it is getting definitely a little bit harder. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And that is sad because I mean, the arts, whether you're talking music, theater, things like that, I think are really important. They provide to me like, you know, a certain joy, something that you can,
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
love and everything else. And it's really sad to see those things get cut.
Yeah, and you can't put a price on putting art and poetry and art into a community and you know, into a country. What's left in the end is just, you know, we're all sitting around looking at AI and computers and what have you. You know, there's got to be something real and some human interaction through different, you know, art projects, surely. You know, I think that's what we need. We all need it, if you know, more so than ever now,
Yeah, yeah,
really.
I definitely agree with that.
Mm.
Um, So besides going to Portugal, do you have any other gigs lined up?
Oh yeah, yeah. All through the summer, the festival season starts.
Hmm.
Me and my good lady wife, we run a stage at the Upton Blues Festival, which
Okay.
is a big one of the biggest blues festival in the UK, and it's free. That's why I like to be involved in it. And we run the acoustic stage. We have 25,000 people coming over throughout the weekend. I think there's 160 different bands, three
Wow.
main stages. And that you know that's just one festival, but you know that's in July. But throughout the summer we've got festivals happening, and dates and gigs, and so yeah, yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I look forward to kind of the summer and early fall because I know here in Ohio, where I'm from, they've
hmm
got dozens of festivals going on. They've got everything from Irish festivals to blues festivals, jazz, um, just all over the place. And it's great to go there. I we're having some out here, the blues festival and everything, and I look forward to going to that. They also have some awesome food here too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So, but yeah, yeah. Um, so you run a stage during the
yeah, yeah.
festivals. How long have you been doing
Yeah.
that?
I think this is our sixth year, but then we had a couple of years out through COVID. But our stage is based in a big church, and it's just, as I say, the acoustic stage. And yeah, we have I think it's a 24 acts. We have about several acts. We have I think 8 or 9 acts a day. I don't do the maths, but for over 3 days. Yeah. And we get a lovely listening audience, and we put a great sound system in. We light up all the church inside with different coloured purple lights right up in through the glass windows and what have you. And I think it's the best stage. The other one's open air stages. It's by the river, but ours is as I say, inside a church. But I think it's where the real fans come to listen to music.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it would be, pretty great if you could make it here, especially for our blues
Oh
festivals and
yeah.
everything.
It
But
would be amazing. I'll have to try try yeah, to write off to a few festivals.
oh
We've
yeah,
had a few Americans coming to Upton, even on our stage. Reverend, what's his name, lovely? Reverend Roberts. I don't know. I know he's come over a few times and played for us. Yeah, he's a sort of a one man sort of blues finger picker. Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
yeah,
they always get a good reception.
that yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about music too, is it brings people from everywhere, all walks of life together. That's the amazing thing about music.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think in America it's quite hard to come and play though, isn't it? You have to get different visas and what have you. Is it green cards or cards for this and that performing and earning money, what have you? I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Yeah, it
was
seems
it was yeah.
yeah, it seems to
It,
be a
it
lot of
was yeah, red tape, what have you. It was harder when England, when Britain we left when the UK we left the European Union. It did get a bit difficult going to play in Europe, but now the rules are getting a little bit slacker, so we're
okay.
able to do it again. Yeah, basically, if you go in a small vehicle with your own equipment, you don't have to. You can don't. There's not so much red tape.
Yeah.
It's only larger tools.
So did you have a hard time during COVID?
Well, musically, obviously we didn't play out.
Yeah.
But on the boat, it was okay, and we did. I don't know, and I think in America there was a lot on online, concerts, and what have you, and festivals. We had online festival. I actually released an album in one part of COVID. I can't quite remember which part because it all sort of mingled up into one. But Solemn Truth and Barefaced Lies was released during COVID. I finished it just as we closed, and then the guy mixed it as we're in lockdown. And then I remember I released it. There was a window of opportunity where we could all sit at tables and be waited upon. We were in that, and I could do a gig at the front. It was really strange. We had to keep the windows open, and all these different rules, but we could jump. But we had a live gig. We televised it all, put it online. That was good fun. Yeah. But strange days, strange days.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know a lot of artists had a bit, of a rough patch and everything, but yeah, like you said, with everything being online and everything. And I think that's kind of continued a little bit because even now I
Yeah.
just finished up college and everything a few weeks ago. And I know they still offer a lot of things online. Um,
Oh well, yeah, yeah,
so in a way that's kind of good because you can still connect and you can still connect with your
yeah,
audience and everything. I think it's kind of taught us a new way of doing things.
yeah, yeah. No, surely did. We all invested in, a little, camera or whatever, and a little microphone to plug into your phone and things. I certainly did. And I did a few concerts just sat here or sat at the front of the boat. We did one concert or one show sat on top of the boat outside. That was a good on a lovely summer's evening. And they're all out there still on the internet, which is a great thing. As well. Yeah, I was slightly lucky because I'm also a woodworker.
Oh,
So I
okay.
have a small workshop that I make like furniture and joinery. And so I was able to do a little bit of that to keep the money coming in. And we got a little grants from the government to keep it because it's a small business. I had a small business grant to keep going. So I was a little bit better off than a lot of musicians, in
Yeah.
that way.
So how long have you been doing the woodworking? That's kind of interesting.
Uh, that's from since I left school, really. Yeah, and I went to I did a few jobs as a beginner or whatever, an apprentice. And then I went off to Africa for a few years. And then when I came back in the early 90s, I started my own workshop. So I've had my own workshop for 30 years now.
Oh,
And
wow.
made most things. I made acoustic guitars and yeah, furniture, joinery, and yeah, yeah. So I'm still doing it. So, and my good lady wife Emma, she also does wood art. She does little sculpture, art sculptures, and to necklaces and bowls, crafty things. But concentrate on the art. So it's
Okay.
good. Yeah, it's a good little thing.
Do you
Yeah.
sell anything online or is it just
Uh,
kind of a,
for me, it's all bespoke. So I
okay.
make people ask me to make stuff, and I make it, and so I've not needed to have an online shop.
Okay.
My good lady wife, she's got my wife's website is offmytree.com, where she
Okay.
has yeah, things for sale. Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
good, and you know, living on a boat, I always believed if you want to be creative and if you can keep your outgoings low, you don't have to you don't have to earn so much to have a good life, if you know what I mean. You can
yeah.
stay creative.
So
Yeah.
so basically you found your niche and everything and you're quite content then.
I think so. I wanted to start out years ago to be to write my own music and songs and to be a wood craftsman, and I've achieved both of those things. So I feel like I have anyway. People say I do a good standard of woodwork, so yeah,
Uh,
and I've got I don't know 11 albums with the band albums I've written as well, so. I can call myself a songwriter. Yeah, yeah.
oh, wow. Um, so what advice, especially when it comes to music, would you give maybe someone who's starting out? What would you tell them about, either the business or advice?
Well, I think myself, I would say just keep doing it. Get your own. Like, I've always tried to get my own style. I listen to lots of blues, but I've never actually sat down and worked any other people's songs out. I've always tried to absorb the style and the sounds of different things, different genres, and then just keep practicing every day, and something will come out in your own style. Do you know what I mean? And just keep at it. Um, yeah, that's what I would say, really. I mean, these days also you need to be with the internet. We all need to manage ourselves, or we all have ability, don't we? So you also have to learn how to, do, do a website and do your social media and how to make videos, and you have to be everything really. But so yeah, keep your mind open, keep and learn all your skills you need to become what you want to be, and have a goal and just work towards it every day. Yeah, it sounds easy, isn't it? Yeah.
Real quick before we end the interview, tell me, give a little plug for your 6'10" album.
Oh yeah, so the 6'10" album came out a couple of months ago now, and it's it's a good it's in a what you say 10 tracks. There's I think a one cover of Gallows Pole on it. The rest all original songs written on my boat about my life. It's available on my website www.trevorbabajacksteger.com or Bandcamp or Amazon and all of the online sites and what have you. And yeah, you can digitally download it, or you can get a hard copy. If you write to me, you can get a hard copy, and I send them all over the world. And it's in bright orange or burnt orange vinyl, 180-gram thick stuff. And I'm very
Oh,
proud of it. I'm really happy. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I've had people say that nothing sounds better than a record, than the actual record.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I don't know why, but it's not compressed. When you put it all out on streaming, all the streaming channels, they compress all the music, don't they? And
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like your vinyl is a good full fat sound. Tomorrow we're having a vinyl. I'm doing a vinyl night in my local a local pub. Everyone's going to bring out their favorite track off their vinyl, and we're going to play all of we're going to have an evening of with the record player, a couple of speakers, and everybody records, and we're all going to say what we like about them and why we've chosen it. The Desert Island Disc. So I'm going to take my new album in just so and yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds so amazing. Oh, I wish I could go to that. That just sounds,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
I've got that, and I'm taking in John Mayall album, which is my favorite, Blue, The Turning Point, which was recorded in Laurel Canyon as an acoustic album after he did all the America. It's from the '60s now, I suppose. But
oh,
that's one of my all-time favorite albums, so I might take that in. Or Portrait in Blue, which is that we talked about Sonny Boy Williamson, the first album I ever brought. I might take that in. I don't know, but I'm doing the evening, so maybe I can have two or three choices. Yeah.
oh, well, I do hope you have a wonderful evening. Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, it should be good fun. We'll see. I think it should be good.
Well, thank you, Trevor. Besides the audio issues, this has just been a great interview. Thank you so much for
Oh
joining.
no, no, thank you. And I didn't know you were based in America, so it's nice to talk to an American. So you're in Ohio, are you?
Yes, yes,
Oh
the
wow.
great Buckeye State, as we're called. Yep.
Oh yeah. Excellent. Yeah. No,
Oh,
well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure. I hope it's not been too boring.
no, no. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Oh, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.